Hey, there's a Kickstarter today, and it's pretty cool. We're going to talk about it. Tanares RPG for 5e. Hey everybody, Jordan here, the PH is Silent, and we're going to talk about this Tanares RPG Kickstarter. This got a lot of hype behind it because it's introducing things like PvP combat, and I think there's like stronghold building, and there's all these new types of dragons, and it's a really awesome example of a campaign setting. And I feel a lot of supplements come out for D&D that are, I don't know, Forgotten Realms adjacent, maybe, but this really feels like it has a huge world behind it, probably because it's part of Dragori Games is running the Kickstarter, and this huge world is the world of their board game series. So they're adapting that board game world into a 5th edition setting. It's pretty awesome. So we're going to switch views, and we're going to kind of go through the Kickstarter and talk about some of the interesting things that you should check out. Let's do it. All right, so here we are. RPG Supplement Adventure 5th Edition with Ed Greenwood, Amy Vorpal, Skip Williams, and lots of other people working on it. Now, I'm recording this on August 30th, but if we scroll down, it says it's going to launch August 31st at 15 UTC, which I had to look up. What is UTC? Well, UTC is Universal Time Coordinated. And so 15 is going to be 3 p.m. UTC, which is 8 a.m. Seattle time or Pacific time. So 8 a.m. By the time you see this video, I believe it will have launched. And you'll probably want to check it out really fast because they are giving away we're going to scroll down here. Yeah. So on day one, they're going to have this big old dragon called Isendeneth. Dragon names, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Gold Dragon of Time. It is a huge miniature, and it's normally $29, or I think you can get it for $29 through the like an upgrade process with the Kickstarter. But if you do day one and you pledge on day one, a tier higher than $100, you'll get the Dragon Mini for free included. And so that's kind of cool. Now, what does Dragori Games, what does this Tanares RPG setting bring to the table? For players, they recreated some of the classes, and I don't know much about this other than what they're telling us in the Kickstarter, but 4 easy to learn new classes. So if you have that friend where 5th edition is a little too complex for them, but they want to like jump in, or your cousin visits and they wants to jump into the story, but it doesn't have time to make a whole character, here's a streamlined version of that. They also have 4 new classes that one of them I'm very excited about. And then you get to create a team, and they're calling it like a super team, which is a definition word that they're adding to D&D, where you have a party or a group, like that's your group, but a team would be more of like I'm thinking like an Acquisitions Incorporated corporation. So in AC Inc., you have like your regular levels, but you also have your like company level, and the team is the same way. You have like a team level that builds as you get renowned and kind of like become the heroes of the world. There's a campaign source book, lots of things, monsters, points of interest, which is something that I really enjoy in a campaign book, where I can say, oh, you want to go there? And I open up a book and it has, here are the going-ons in that region. I can pick which one I want to have my players fall into, if any. And then there is an adventure, and it's called Adventure in the Realms of Madness. Again, this is not like regular Wizards of the Coast cosmology. So the Realms of Madness, I'm assuming the Far Realm, but it's the Realms of Madness because this isn't really connected to any kind of Wizards of the Coast multiverse-ness. Virtual tabletop and other stuff. So I don't want to go through the tiers because I feel like you can look at that and kind of know what's going on. I want to get to the meat and potatoes of all of this, which is the books. So first of all, we're going to talk about the Adventure in the Realms of Madness. We have a non-linear story, which I like, from levels 3 to 12. that's awesome because I don't think we always need to start at level 1, but that's me. The player side comes with a bunch of backgrounds and stuff to fit your character into this world. They're toting it as just not another accept a mission kind of on a tavern, but like you're going to save this world, or you're going to destroy these dragons that are manipulating this world. It sounds really epic. The sample, you can click here. There's a sample that comes with it. And this is like the coolest tree squid head thing. Really interesting. So they're really toting up this gold dragon miniature, but like, let's just look at this. We have, you can run the sample as a one shot. So you guys can kind of see if you like this, first of all. And the whole campaign world kind of has this focus on the penumbral. And here we see like penumbral bushes and they have, things that happen to them, and penumbral and aberration, I think, are going hand in hand. So it's this weird, aberrational magic or the realms of madness, the far realm kind of bleeding into Tanares, and you have a penumbral sense about it. So next we have the campaign sourcebook, which if you are the DM, this is what I would be most interested in because I like being able to steal things, and I think this would be... Tanares seems like a really interesting place to put on the other side of your ocean. You know, when your players, like, they've mapped out your whole world, or we'll use the Forgotten Realms. They've done the Sword Coast here and back, and they sail off to see, like, what is on the other side of this ocean. And then if you land here to a world that is apparently on your world, but so alien in the way that they interact, and, like, dragons are different and things like that. I like the idea of using this for that. And you could steal as much or as little as you want. So within Tanares, their big thing is that you can't wage war. Every time a section of human gets too powerful, they are smashed down to bits by these dragons that are basically like, you can't become that powerful. You guys have to, they keep you in check. So because you can't wage war, but there's still conflict, they have these gladiatorial arena areas where teams of people can fight, and it's like a low enough conflict. It's not all out war that the dragons allow this to happen, and so you don't get a huge cataclysm that's going to destroy humanity. But at the same time, you can't have all out war, so it's really frustrating. So everyone kind of has to abide by these laws, and it reminds me of those weird Star Trek civilizations that they would beam down to, where it's like, oh, we had a pretend bomb go off in this area, so all those people, they need to walk to murder centers because... So really quick, I go into a bit of a rant on Star Trek, and I realize that I'm wrong. I can't remember the episode I'm thinking of, but I know the one with Wesley is Justice from Star Trek The Next Generation. So now that that's cleared up and people don't at me, bombed that area, but nobody actually got bombed. And it was a way to, like, in that episode of Star Trek, it was a way for Wesley Crusher to meet some hot girl. But in that episode, it was a way for, they thought they were more civilized because they weren't actually making bombs. Everyone was just following the rules of war.
Oh no. Oh, please no.
And I get the same sense of this, only there's not like the mass execution places to go. But we humans want to fight, and this is how we're going to fight, and this is how my civilization is going to fight your civilization. Another cool thing, I was mentioning the Acquisitions Incorporated side of it, but the Mark of the Hero, like as your team levels up as a whole, you interfacing with merchants and other people in the city is going to change because they'll have more respect for you, and that is a fun reflection of you having an impact on the world. And this is not out yet from what I can tell. It says at project understudy and in progress, but they want to create an app for your tablet or phone that will help immerse yourself in this story and world. And I haven't seen another RPG product really do that. So I like that I've seen other board games do that, which is probably where they got the idea, but to have like an interactive map where I could click things, like, and it's not fan based. Like, this is from the content creators who developed this world. That's pretty cool. So keep an eye out for that as well. Jumping back over here, this is where people, I think the most interest is, because we have more players than we do Dungeon Masters. But there are new spells, items, backgrounds, and feats, and those are all part of the player's guide to Tanares. Things like breeding dragons, hunting them, maintaining your headquarters, upgrading them, the PvP, new classes. They even got some new, this is the guide. But I was going to show, they have new, I'm pointing at the screen, you can't see that, but they have some fancy character sheets if you wanted to use them. You don't have to. I like using custom character sheets every once in a while, especially when I start a new campaign and then you get a feeling for like, this campaign is like this. There are tons out there on the internet. You can go find some, but I think a lot of other people, I use D&D character sheets. So there you go. So let's look at this guide a little bit. We've got the intro here. But yes, so the ones that we have the Dragonblade, the Madwalker, and then they have some other things here. And I went over this in the last one, but what are the classes? Okay, yeah, Dragonblade. So Dragonblade, they form combos and attacks. They have like a draconic spirit that helps them. The Madwalker is the one that I'm most interested in, and they're probably because it's from the realm of madness and aberrations and stuff. But there is a lot of it's like a aberrational druid, if I'm remembering correctly. Like, you can change into stuff. You are very connected to the penumbral plane, and the penumbral plane has it says negative feelings are very dense and they materialize in the penumbral, whereas positive feelings and positive energy really disperses that, and that's kind of interesting. So these Madwalkers, not a lot of people know that this exists, and so the Madwalkers, they might be mistaken for a rogue or a fighter, even maybe like a warlock, but really they're like in tune with this far realm aberrational, and I don't want to say magic, but it's not psionics. It's just kind of like these, and I guess emotions are a great thing. Feelings, these negative feelings that can be dense and heavy and used and manipulated because you are in sync with the penumbral. That also has consequences though, which I like. So as you're activating abilities as a Madwalker, you are spending points, or I should actually say you're accumulating insanity points. And a very Lovecraftian theme, but as the more you tap into this power, the more your mind is slipping away, which is kind of interesting. And so if you have down here at the bottom, it's kind of hard to see on the screen, but I can zoom in. Come on, Jordan. So down here on the screen, if you acquire from 1st to 4th levels, if you have 3 to 5 insanity points, you get a -1 penalty to all of these things. So this is kind of interesting because instead of spell slots, instead of key points, instead of you have this much proficiency bonus or whatever else, you could technically keep pushing yourself, but you're going to acquire these negative penalties as you use them. So it comes with a trade-off. Do I really want to try and use this again, knowing I'm going to push myself into a -3 penalty to my attacks? That's fun, and I think that's really interesting. The Elementalist is here. The Tanares seems to have a very strong connection to the elements, so this is... we have sorcerers and we have wizards, and you can elementally theme those. But I get, and we don't have information on this just yet, but I get the feeling that you are really dedicating yourself to one element, and then the spells that are in this book will complement that. Redeemer is the last one, and they are your cleric-y replacement, it seems. They have some combat tricks. It almost seems like you're a rogue cleric in a way. But again, we don't have a lot of information on this just yet because they're still building all of this. And then they have simple classes, which is the Mage, the Simplified Wizard, the Juggernaut, the Simplified Barbarian, the Scoundrel, a Simplified Rogue, which doesn't seem that complicated. I feel like you could play a Rogue, and Shaman, the Simplified Cleric. And what's a game without races? So we need fun new races. The Taimaku, with a tendency to seek balance, holistic life, you will find the most original, innovative trait about ability score distribution in this logical, literal, rational species, which comes with marvelous thematic features due to their innate engineering skills, like new gadgets and moving cities. So, very fun. I love this wand snake spell. That's kind of cool. This is interesting because we have Driders, and at first I was like, are you playing a Drider? But you're very Drow-like, but you have a scorpion body. And we don't have a lot of... I wonder if you would be considered large with this race, because design of D&D has specifically limited creatures from being large, unless a spell makes them large or something like that. But I like this. And so this is you're a very connected to the penumbral plane, and you are more or less an abomination in itself. So I wonder how you're treated in cities. Cirrus are the most ancient species of Tanares. They live high in the mountaintops, and it looks at level 9, you develop some wings and you can fly around. So you're kind of like an angelic demon creature. Basically, are you going the yin or yang route with your background? So Kemet is our last one, and they, it says here, are deeply tied to portals and to the study of death and the occult. They are an elven, fae-ish kind of creature, and they fill that niche within the fantasy world. But I like it, and I also wonder if there's going to be, like, I assume humans are in here, and I assume there are some other races, but, hey, there's my name. I assume there are other races, but they're going to use the stock races from the stock races from the OGL, from 5th edition 5e OGL, apply here as well, but I don't know. I am a fan of using the races that are part of that campaign. Like if I'm playing Eberron, I don't necessarily want to have tieflings, but there are ways to make it fit if you want. This is kind of fun. If this was the 4 races and this is what you had to choose, I imagine humans in there because why not human? But so these people, they know their minis. They've been making board games and they've been doing minis before. So, oh, and we got a video here of the gold painted dragon. So that's pretty cool. I wonder if this is like an amazing print job or paint job, or if it will be, it kind of looks translucent, but I guess it's not translucent. I can't see through it. It's a really cool mini. Detachable wings for lower levels. That's fun. So yeah. Oh, and here's our scorpion boy. I love this Gloomfolk. That's really cool. And I do like this penumbral dragon miniature. I just like the idea of like a aberration dragon. Reminds me of a lot of the Mind Flayer monsters, the Neothalid, is that what I'm thinking of? Yes, it was. Neothalid, there you go. Kind of reminds me of this, which is, I believe, a tadpole of Mind Flayer origin that got too big and then became this really freaking interesting creature. So they're offering a lot of minis with this because I think they know minis, and that's kind of their wheelhouse, so why not add on minis for that? And it looks like after the Kickstarter, you'll be able to upgrade your pledge if you want and things like that. So if this is something that strikes your fancy, then you can totally check it out. These dragons are pretty cool. The blue dragon, the undead dragon. Oh my gosh. So down here, we have some videos from other content creators and myself. So if you're interested in what I originally thought about this, which was very good, I really liked it, you can check out this video right here. Looks like there's some other videos. Ted's got one. The Gallant Goblin's got one. He's really awesome. And you can check out to see what other people are talking about, what if they think about it. And in this video, I will say, and I'll link it down below as well, I talk a lot about the Mad Walker because that was the class that really stuck out to me and something I thought design-wise was very interesting. So there you go. The Tanares RPG for 5th edition by Dragori Games. I am really curious. They're asking for $50,000, but I know they have a lot of stretch goals. And I think it's the Avatar RPG that just like blew up recently, and a lot of really cool RPG Kickstarters are being made this year. And maybe it was because of pandemic and things like that. I'm not really sure, but like super creative, super awesome stuff. I get a feeling that this is going to completely blow up. So if you want to check it out today, August 31st. Now, Tanares did talk to me. We kind of partnered about this and a giveaway that they're giving on. But in no way did they like pay for a review or anything. I genuinely think this is awesome. My words are my own. So feel free to check it out. If you think it's your jam, go right ahead. If you don't, I understand. But this will be a really interesting addition, I feel, to the 5th edition third-party product line. This is stuff that I think that Wizards could even look at and say, wow, people are taking our skeleton of a game and really like transforming it into some awesome stuff. So they're doing really cool stuff. This is some amazing third-party content, and I think you should check it out. That's it for me, everybody. Let me know about comments if you're interested in all that stuff. I'll chat with you guys. I always try to watch the comments. Until then, there will be a new video coming out shortly, and I will see you all then. Take care.